Hello, everyone. We want to take this opportunity to say thank you. As you grow at the Golden Boot, so do our needs, but we cannot do it without you. We ask that you continue to like our posts, share our content, and subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, and other social media platforms. You may also visit thegoldenboot.com for the latest merch. If you would like to make a financial donation, you can do so through Cash App at @GoldenBoot or through PayPal at paypal.me/GoldenBoot. We look forward to bringing you more laughs, knowledge, and entertainment. And again, thank you for your endless support. Sincerely and respectfully, the Golden Boot team.
The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back to another edition of the Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Aunt Petty Murphy in the building. We got Daniel D. Williams in the building, and we have special guests that will be joining us shortly. And I say special guests, I don't take that lightly. I think technically Blake was our first BLEAV guest.
Yeah,
but outside the LSU footprint, this is our first BLEAV guest from the BLEAV Network. We got the guys from Behind the Rails. Purdue podcast, Mr. Travis Miller, and hopefully Kory Sheets can join us as well. But we'll have some good Purdue information to talk about. My first question, what is a Boilermaker? Because listen, that's what I got to find out first, and then we can go from there. But fellas, how y'all doing this evening?
I'm good, bro.
Yeah, I'm doing good also, man. It's Thursday. It's almost Friday, man. Let's go.
It's Friday to me, so I ain't tripping.
Everybody ain't able.
It's been Friday for a long time for me.
Appreciate you.
It's been Friday for a long time. But we do know, listen, everybody in the chat say, everybody, listen, we know what you want to talk about. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to it, but we won't, talk about the bowl game first, because we already know that's going to be a long conversation.
Facts.
So we'll get to that. But let's talk about the bowl game. Ali Gay opted out of the bowl. We know BJ is sitting out as well, preparing for the draft. We might be a little thin on it. On an already thin defensive line. That thing might be Sharman thin.
You got Savion, who's gonna have to play big minutes. Quincy Wiggins is probably gonna have to get some playing time. Bryce Langston. Then we're gonna see all the guys who people who say, "Hey, what happened to such and such?" Well, we're gonna see them.
Opportunity.
We're gonna see them. Come Monday. So I think, like Dan said, it's a good opportunity for a lot of these guys.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this now. I miss Desmond Little, but go ahead, Daniel.
Hey, first of all, let me say this right now. You're not finna bring this up every time we talk about the defensive line. You gotta let it go sooner or later.
I let it go when the season starts next year.
The man entered the portal. You should have let it go.
He did. He should have stayed.
We was trying to get him. We was gonna try to get him on the show too. We had our opportunity.
Hey, he's not the only one who should have stayed either. Somebody else should have stayed, but we'll talk about that later. But Jacoby and Guillory, this is your time. Tank is definitely a friend of the show. And
you talking about Jacqueline Roy?
No, Jacoby and Guillory.
He said it's his time.
You're talking about who should have stayed. You talking
about Besh.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but that's another story. I do think He still stayed.
I think that's why I thought you were talking about. So we talking about the D line. That's why I thought you were talking about J. Roy should have stayed because he would have been big in a game like this, considering you lose. Ojulari and Ali not playing, having a veteran on the D line to help to go along with Wingo would be huge. But
honestly, and I'm pretty sure we'll talk about that more. But for Roy leaving, it's just one of those things where our guys leaving prematurely. On the defensive line, we've seen this over and over again, and it sucks. But either way, Bryce Langston, like you said earlier, Jacoby and Guillory, man, this is your time to shine. We know Mekhi is going to come out and he's going to do his thing. You know what I'm saying? So the interior defensive line, Savion Jones on the outside, hey, it's time for y'all to get it done.
Yep.
So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I wish I would have got to see my boy Ali Gay again, though, one last time. But
are you surprised he's not playing?
No, I'm not surprised. But is he playing? Is he playing in the senior? Well, no, he's not a senior.
Yeah,
he is a senior.
He is.
Did he get invited to the Senior Bowl?
I'm not sure. I had to double check.
See, if he didn't get invited, he should have played.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah. I understand BJ not playing. He's he is
first round pick.
He is who he is. But I think Ali could, like you say, if he's not playing, if he's playing in the Senior Bowl, then that would supersede this in the eyes of NFL scouts. So I could understand that. But if he isn't playing in the Senior Bowl, he could use the tape,
for sure.
Just one more game on film.
For sure. I mean, and barbecue chicken out there. He could have had one of the offensive tackles who we're about to talk to our guy about on skates.
Because he is going to the Senior Bowl.
He's going. Okay. We're good.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
I mean, what you think about Quincy Wiggins? Are you excited to possibly see him play?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what a year. Because we all know he was raw as far as the technique development stuff. I'm excited to see what a year has done for him technique-wise, and because we know he's the athlete, that ain't the question. It's just, can he put it all together technique-wise and harness the athletic ability in the right way? So I'm excited because, like we say, it's an opponent who you're not really familiar with. So like the expectations aren't really that high for what we're gonna do or what they're gonna do. So it's one of them games where you just go make plays, man. And whatever happens, happens.
That man, Quincy Wiggins, like Hancock. He get hit.
Pause.
Man, Hancock is not. What are you talking about? Pause.
The movie.
The movie, yeah.
Oh,
remember? What are you talking about? Mine in the gutter, just nasty.
Well, you said it.
With your struggling beard.
Hey, chill out, bro. Hey, we all started here. We all started.
Not we.
You didn't wake up in the morning time and had a full beard. Get out of here.
I didn't wake up with that, but
you woke up with it.
Say what?
What you woke up with?
I woke up with what looked like a 5 o'clock shadow. I ain't wake up with that. Listen. But no, Hancock. Hancock, when he saved the dude on who car got stuck on the train.
Yeah,
and he just stopped the train with a body. Quincy Wiggins with the car. Anybody who can survive him.
Man, you were on for that. Man.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
you were on for that.
He got hit by dude. Got hit. Listen.
Yeah, he did.
He got hit by a car and
on the scooter.
And still, he didn't play in the game, but he still participated in like all the other activities of the All-American game.
Right.
Yeah. That's true.
You can't tell me that dude ain't got. You can't tell me that.
Hey, but
don't
Adam,
do it.
I'm not gonna. That's funny. That's funny though. Adam brings up a good point though. I don't know if we're gonna discuss this later on, but how do they keep doing it, man?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We're definitely gonna talk about that.
I mean, we don't have to. I don't really like discussing them people, but
we ain't necessarily got to.
It's
is it a fear factor? But anyway, we'll move on. Y'all already talked about we can talk about what worries you during the.
Well, we ain't talked about nothing else.
Okay, we can leave it. Okay, I'm gonna throw this out here. Big Wispy, Arkansas fan, where you at? Because he came in LSU Spaces all summer talking about how LSU hadn't beaten Arkansas in any sports, and what y'all beat us in softball or some he was talking. He said, you didn't beat us in football, you didn't beat us in basketball, you didn't beat us in baseball, and so far since he's made those statements, they have not won a game against LSU. So,
and can we use while we're here? Well, I just want to say this to everybody bringing up the fact that Arkansas was missing 2 starters. When Mammy Man took the job, he had 1 player on the roster, 2 if you want to include Parker Edwards. I'll give you that on proof. And so, you know
you're gonna bring it up.
And so we filled our roster with transfer guys for the most part, a lot of whom came from the lower level, like Murray State, Northwestern State, and places like that. And a lot of fans laughed at our roster, calling it mid-major this, mid-major that. You got SEC reject Trey Hannibal, who couldn't play in the SEC. You got Juice Hill, who ran away from Arkansas because he couldn't handle getting coached by Musselman and all this. And meanwhile, Arkansas had 3 5-stars in the high school class last year alone, and they had multiple 4-star transfers in last year's class alone. Not to mention Debo Davis, I think. Debo Davis, who came back. So Arkansas was supremely more talented on paper than LSU. And as one of my Arkansas coworkers said, you could see the talent gap on the floor last night. So the fact that y'all still lost just makes it that much worse, doesn't it?
Right. And then honestly, if you look at the box score, you would think LSU would have lost the game.
I'm just saying.
Pay attention to but hey, LSU wanted it more last night. And honestly, I think Arkansas kind of got our coach. Is that possible?
Listen, I have never in the last 3-4 years, pick and rolls, different sets, players coming off screens. I don't remember many ISO plays. I was impressed. I was very impressed.
There was some ISO, but the ISO
not many.
The thing about it is ISO is okay if you use it in the right way. ISO isn't meant to be dribble the ball down. Okay, 5 seconds left. Let's go ISO. That's not what it's meant for. But if you got a mismatch, go ISO. You know what I mean? And that's what they was doing last night, using the pick and roll to get mismatches and then let Hannibal go ISO on the big man. And you saw what happened. Hannibal was killing him, getting to the paint whenever he wanted to.
Yeah. Right. I've also enjoyed so far this basketball season. If one guy gets shut down, that doesn't stop. That doesn't stop somebody else. Your leading scorer came off the bench last night, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Hey, Hannibal is a beast too, by the way.
Yeah,
he is.
Kid is nice.
All right, we had 45. I guess we can ask this one more question and then we can move on. Women's basketball right now up 61-38 on them same funky Hogs. Yeah, I said funky. 8 minutes and 18 seconds left in the fourth. But let me ask you this: what should we expect out of Kentucky? They've played more competition, but they've looked a little inconsistent at times.
They got whooped. Yes,
they got mollywopped by a Mizzou team who, granted, Mizzou is really good this year.
Yeah, they are.
Their only loss was a blowout to Kansas, but everybody else they've won. They beat up on Illinois the game prior to, beating them by double digits. So
Missouri got a good coach. So I think Missouri. I'm not going to take too much from that Kentucky loss. I mean, it was a bad loss, but I'm not going to take too much from it. They still got, to me, one of the best players, if not the best player in the country, Oscar Sheboy. So we're going to have our hands full in the paint.
That's the same guy from last year, right?
Yeah, that's the same big man.
Now, bonus points. Spell it.
TSH.
All right, there you go. All right, let's move on. I was
about to say, we about to get
it. But that's my thing is we're gonna have our hands full trying to contain him inside. But after what I saw yesterday, I'm confident that this team is not only gonna be able to compete, like hang around in the SEC, but they're gonna be able to win games like consistently. Yeah. Right. And this is another great test for them, against a good Kentucky team on the road.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead. Like I said, bring our guest in from the Behind the Rails podcast. Our brethren over at BLEAV. For the Purdue side, Mr. Travis Miller. Thank you for joining us at the Golden Boot. We appreciate you coming. welcome. Oh, and I forgot you can't help me.
Hold on.
Hold on. There we go.
Well, thank you for having me. And I could sit here and talk basketball all night. I mean, we're number one in the nation.
Hey, the reason why I said one of the best players in the nation.
No, we blew Duke out.
But that's the reason why I said one of the best players when I was talking about Oscar, because Zach Edey is right up there, if not the best player in the nation. So
hey, Edey is playing very well right now. I'm very pleased, and I'm going to be on guard because I know our history in March. One of our reverse losses was to LSU in March, knocked a promising team out in the 80s. It was possibly going to go to the Final Four, but. Hey, I'll take it. 13-0 after tonight. Number one in the nation. Let's roll.
I like it. Yes, Travis, you got company came in with you. Mr. Matthew said T Mill in the house, boiler up.
Oh, that's one of my guys. Hey,
thank
oldest and dearest friends.
Matthew, thank you for coming in and joining us, dealing with our foolishness.
Hey, but he got to answer that first question.
Oh, if you let me answer it, ask it.
Hey, I'm dying to know. I'm dying to know.
Somebody did answer in the chat, and I saw it, and I glanced over in the chat move. What is a Boilermaker?
Well, it's if you go by the drink, it's a shot of whiskey inside a glass of beer, which to me tastes like pencil erasers in beer. I've had one before; it's nasty. But the story goes back to when, like the late 1800s, when Purdue was playing local rival Wabash College. Purdue blew them out, and Wabash College accused us of having a bunch of ringers from a local locomotive shop that we just brought in, and brought a bunch of ringers and everything. And in the newspaper down in Crawfordsville, Indiana, they're like a bunch of burly boiler makers, and it just stuck from there. So. Wow. Okay. They kind of have had it since. We could be the Pumpkin Shuckers or the Cornfield Sailors. Those were names that they used before that. So
I like Boilermaker because
I like Boilermaker.
I can always use it. I can always flip it to Spoilermaker anytime y'all are playing Ohio State.
Those are fun when we play Ohio State and West Lafayette.
Makes me some money almost every time.
Speaking of, ladies and gentlemen, West Lafayette is in Indiana. Yeah. South Lafayette is in Louisiana.
No, just Lafayette. We ain't got no directions to ours. We just Lafayette.
Then you've got South Bend in northern Indiana. So figure that one out.
So let me ask this: who is your, Purdue's biggest rival? Is it the Indiana in the state, or who is the
Notre Dame maybe in state? I don't know. Who do you consider?
Probably Indiana, honestly. We used to play Notre Dame every year in football, but since they started mixing up their schedule a lot, we've only played them once, I think, since 2014, and that was last year. So, that's not been as popular as it was, and we played them every year for like 70 some odd years before they went off the schedule. But most likely it's Indiana, unless you consider crippling defeat and gut punches as a rival, in which case we lose that all the time.
Gotcha. Well, and Travis, whenever we was on your show Monday, you said that Nick Saban is scared to play Purdue.
Oh, Saban's ducking us, man.
Really?
I like it.
I say that because there's only one school that Saban has ever lost 3 games in a row to, and it was Purdue in 97, 98, and 99 when he was at Michigan State. And then he got scared and ran his ass off to the SEC. And he has not played us since. He's been ducking us. So, Bama don't want us. I'm sticking with it until he decides to play us. So
I understand.
I understand.
Since we're talking about history records, LSU is undefeated against Purdue. I don't know if anyone knew that. LSU is undefeated in football.
When the last time we played Purdue?
We've never played Purdue. That's we are undefeated against Purdue.
Let me ask you this, Travis. Since we just talked about the Spoilermaker moniker, the first time I really ever heard of it was when some man named Rondale Moore was running all over Ohio State. So, and then y'all follow him up with David Bell, and then y'all follow him up with Charlie Jones this year, who came from nowhere at Iowa to 1,000-yard receiver at Purdue and helped me win my college fantasy league. Appreciate that, by the way. So, what is it about Purdue that y'all just keep making wide receivers like that?
Man, I don't know. Jeff Brom managed to recruit some really, really good ones there. And one of the downsides of the COVID season and the year before that is we never really got to see Bell and Moore thrive together because Moore got hurt in his sophomore season. He only played 4 games, and it was his injury that kind of allowed Bell to come onto the scene as a freshman. And then during the COVID year, it looked like Moore was going to be out, and then he was back, and he only played like 3 or 4 games. So I think we got a total of like 6 games with the 2 of them, fully healthy playing together. And that's unfortunate, man, because they would have been a lot of fun to watch together.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to the chat. I'm on one. Says the Golden Boot, and then Nick. Thank you. Thank you for keeping us updated, Adam. The women's team is smacking Archie. Yeah, they're up 66-41 right now.
As they should be.
I need them to get 5 more points at least.
Hey, but Travis,
mind your business. Mind your business.
What's your thoughts on the new hire?
It's interesting. I'm cautiously optimistic. He has put together a pretty good roster of young coaches. He's already gone out and got a big transfer quarterback in Hudson Card from Texas coming over. He's got Graham Harrell. Graham Harrell looks like he's going to keep the wide open passing offense going. And that's when Purdue's been at its most successful, is when they've had a good quarterback and they've been able to throw the ball all over the field. I was a fan, I was in school when Drew Brees was there. So I'm used to seeing,
the second best quarterback in Purdue history. Shout out Kyle Orton.
Oh, Kyle Orton too. I saw him too. Well, I know you guys love Breeze down there for the Saints, though. So
yes,
definitely.
Yeah. So speaking of Breeze, while we're on this, I was going to ask something. What is it like as Purdue alum and a big Purdue fan for him to be back as a coach, even if it just is in this interim role?
I think it's great. A lot of people were like, well, maybe you should be the head coach or something. And I'm thinking, okay, he's never coached anywhere at any level. Let's pump the brakes before putting him in charge of a Big Ten team. But it's great that he's come back to, even if it's just a one-shot deal, to help out his alma mater. He's always been very generous and very kind to give back to the school. He's given several $1 million. He's got his name on a building up there. He helped build the new football performance facility that they have that upgraded our facilities significantly. So it's just wonderful to see him give back and everything else. And I know he will always be welcome in West Lafayette, even though he's from Texas and then I believe still lives down in New Orleans.
Yeah. Travis, of course, us Saints fans down here, we know Drew Brees likes, breaking records. And sometimes some people may have said he probably even overstayed his welcome with the Saints. Not going to say that, but I mean, how would you feel about the later end of his NFL career?
The views and opinions expressed by
man, I think I was pulling for him to get one more run.
I'm joking. Yeah.
I was pulling for him to get one more run. That last season, I could tell he didn't have it. He was not the same Breeze that I had watched his entire career. But the Saints had the defense, and they had Kamara playing well, and it looked like they were leading that game against Tampa. And one fumble changed the whole game, man. So if I forget who the tight end's name was, if he doesn't fumble,
Jared Cook.
Yeah, thank you.
If he doesn't fumble there, they're in, about to go down and score again, and maybe they get to the NFC title game, and you never know. I mean, he was playing better than Peyton Manning did in his last season.
That's true. I'll give you that. There ain't no doubt about that one. I will give you that. So let's bring it back to Coach Walters real quick. So when he was announced, I saw a lot of outrage, I guess would be the right word. Dismay. I don't know, whatever word you want to use, by the fan base. Was it an underwhelming hire to a lot of the fan base? And if so, who did they really want?
See, that's the real question, man, because I think a lot of people weren't aware of who he was, but he's kind of warmed to the fan base since then. I know one of the first acts that he did, he came in and he gave a scholarship to our freshman running back, Devin Maccabee, who came out of nowhere this year And if he has a decent game in the bowl game, he's going to have 1,000-yard season. So he scored a lot of points with the fans there. He's done a good job of just nailing his assistants. We've learned a little bit more about his defense. I think people were just kind of surprised at how young he was and how he'd never been a head coach at this level. Gotcha. So they're going to reserve judgment. But at the same time, Jeff Brom came in and resurrected a program that was beyond dead. I mean, we were worse than Kansas during that stretch, man. Under Darrell Hazel, we won 9 games in 4 years, and 4 of them were over FCS teams that any Power 5 team does not have a valid excuse to ever lose to an FCS team, unless you're dumb enough to play North Dakota State. I'll take that.
Thank you. Speaking of Jeff Brom and Kansas, segue. A lot of people don't realize Les Miles was actually one of the candidates or who was petitioning to get that Purdue job before Brom actually got it. So
be thankful that didn't happen.
Yeah. So
he was one of the names that people were wanting and everything. And I know they were making the photoshops of him in the Purdue hat and everything. So I mean, at the time, I just wanted somebody who could win a damn Big Ten game.
Well, you know what? Les Miles would have fit in perfectly. It would have been icing on the cake if you had some blondes, but it would have been perfect.
No comment.
This man just said that Purdue is at its best whenever they throwing the football around, and then you just said Les Miles would be a perfect fit.
So I'm saying for Big Ten football, I like Les 10 years ago.
And throwing the football around do not belong in the same.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. We talked about Coach Walters coming in. What are some of the expectations for him?
It's going to be an interesting year next year, just because kind of where Brom had been building things, he'd really been building with his recruiting classes and experience towards these last 2 seasons. And then last season, they come out, they go 9-4, they win a bowl game over Tennessee. Everything's great. This year, 8-5, you win the Big Ten West, probably about 2 plays from being 10-3 right now, because they held a lead inside the last minute against both Penn State and Syracuse. So, I mean, this is a team that was on it, but they lose a lot. And that's one of my biggest concerns for the bowl game, is because most of the guys that we were going to lose are already sitting out. You mentioned Charlie Jones. He's opting out. Payne Durham, NFL caliber tight end. He's opting out. Aiden O'Connell, starting quarterback, 6th-year senior. He's opting out.
That's the name I was waiting on.
So, and we got a couple of our top defenders that are opting out. Jalen Graham and Corey Trice.
Dang.
So, it's going to be interesting. You're going to see in the bowl game a lot of guys that are going to be playing next year. And then anytime that you've got a coaching change in early December, it throws everything into flux with the recruiting class and with guys jumping in the transfer portal and everything. So I think if Walters can just get him to a bowl game next year, because it's a much tougher schedule. We have to play Ohio State and Michigan from the East, and then all 3 of our non-conference games are difficult. I believe we host Fresno State, we go to Virginia Tech, and then we host Syracuse on the back end of that home and home. So
that's tough right there.
It's tricky, and if they can get off to a good start next year, you never know. Just because the Big Ten West is the Big Ten West, but
that's true.
Hey, somebody had to win it. And
that's true.
Right, so I'll take it. I was there at the championship game, and I was delighted to be there. So.
Were you surprised that Brom left for Louisville?
Once that job came open, I think the writing was on the wall, because we barely held on to him the last time when they got Satterfield. Mm-hmm. And I think there were all kinds of rumors and back channel discussions all season, because I know Satterfield was on the hot seat, then they started winning. Mm-hmm. And you could tell out of Louisville that was not going to be, it was not the best relationship. And then once he bailed for Cincinnati, every Purdue fan's like, uh-oh, then we know who their first call is going to be. So, we tried to hang on to him. Mike Babinski offered him, was like, okay, what do you want to talk contract-wise? But he was getting called home. So I don't blame him for leaving. It's kind of left us in a bind for this bowl game, because he took half the assistants with him, and the other half are going to be joining him after the bowl game. He's taking a couple guys in the portal, a couple recruits, but I don't fault him. He wants to go home, and he's from the Louisville area. He played there, and I don't fault him. I mean, it's not a surprise really that he ended up there.
It says a lot about what Purdue is, though, that people are coming to get y'all's coach, though. You know that.
Yeah, I mean, he turned around a program that was just god awful, and right from the beginning. I mean, that first season, he went 7-6 and won a bowl game. So that was just an immediate turnaround, and he had 3 wins over top 5 teams. He, has the memorable Ohio State win. Got, I think last year was only like our 8th 9-win season ever. Got a big bowl win, and he left the program better than when he arrived, and I think that's all you can ask for, really. And if this is the low point, for Walters, and he's going to springboard from there, then I think we're in a good spot.
Right. And Travis, let me ask you this also. Of course, you're talking about how many people are leaving the team and the transfer portal, and the coach leaving. I mean, what's the mood of the team right now? Like, are they excited about this game? High expectations. How are they feeling?
It's hard to say. We're going to be starting Austin Burton at quarterback, and he is a 6-year guy that came to us out of the transfer portal 2 years ago. So this is his 3rd year in the program. Hasn't played a lot in his career. He started 1 game at UCLA, and he started 1 game here at Purdue. He started against Florida Atlantic this year on homecoming when O'Connell was hurt. And he had a modest game. He threw for 3 touchdowns and a pick, but he was under 200 yards. He's a very, very different quarterback than O'Connell, mostly because he's a true dual threat quarterback. We've actually run him in on some packages where he was designed runs for him or read option for him, mostly because O'Connell is about as mobile as a statue.
That is true.
Yeah, I think O'Connell was like 200 yards underwater for his career at Purdue.
Wow.
So,
hey, but he can sling that thing, though.
Yeah, he can throw it, but you didn't want to see him run it, man. But Burton, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, this is a guy, he's playing his last collegiate game. He's not going to go to the NFL, so probably his last game ever. I'm curious to see what he's going to do, and he's waited for this opportunity for his entire career, basically.
This man finna have a career game versus us and storybook ending. Watch.
Right, and it'll be interesting to see what he does with Devin Mockabee in the backfield. You might see Purdue be a much better running team than they've been all season, because Mockabee he's been a pleasant surprise. Redshirt freshman walk-on, had never played before the second game this year, got in at the end of the blowout against Indiana State.
Sounds like our starting running back. And
then just took off after that. And I think he was over 100 yards like 5 or 6 times. Played really, really well throughout the season. And we're excited that he's also on board, because Brom was coming after him too to get him to come to Louisville with him. And he turned him down. And I think partially because Walters put him on scholarship that first move. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm curious to see what works out. We're going to see a lot of guys that haven't played a lot of minutes this year, but hopefully they can put it together, because I remember bowl games where it hasn't gone very well. I don't know if you saw us play Auburn in 2018, but man, that was brutal.
Yeah. So for those of you tuning in, Florida State just finished off Oklahoma 35-32, and the Lady Tigers got the most disappointing 24-point win. Not disappointed in the fact that they won. I just didn't get my 71 points. Mind your business. All right. So, Mr. Travis, quick question. You've talked about Coach Brom, the players who are leaving, the coaches who are leaving. We know Drew Brees is there in the interim role, kind of helping out. Who's the interim head coach for this game?
Officially, it's Brian Brom, Jeff's brother. He's been the offensive coordinator all 6 years that Jeff was here. He coached the opening game of the COVID season because Jeff had COVID, and it ended up being a nice little win over Iowa, where David Bell had 3 touchdowns. And I think it was very interesting to see that, because at the time, our fans were like, okay, will you just let Brian run the offense? Because Jeff was very adamant about calling the plays, so the offensive coordinator didn't do a lot. Well, in his one shot, came out and won the game. It'll be interesting to see. At least there's some continuity there. And with at least a couple of weeks to prepare for Burton, I'm curious to see what he cooks up because, like I said, it's going to be a very different type of quarterback. Burton is not O'Connell, but he offers some looks that nobody's really seen this year from us, just because there isn't that much film on him, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. We know, again, both sides opt outs, coaches in shambles, strengths and weaknesses at this point for this game.
I think one of the strengths is going to be Purdue's defensive line. They've done a pretty solid job all year. Most of them are seniors that are going to take their extra COVID year. They've already gone into the portal, but they've agreed to stay. Branson Dean, Lawrence Johnson, Jack Sullivan, they've been pretty solid. And they've really picked up the slack after George Karlaftis left last year as a first-round draft pick because Karlaftis was an absolute beast. I mean, part of the only reason he didn't put up bigger numbers is he was getting double and triple teamed every time, and that makes the rest of the defense look really good when you get to play 8 on 10. So I'm curious to see what they'll probably be pretty solid. Maccabee's been great all year. He has more speed than we've had at running back in a while. He's pretty elusive. He's not the biggest back, but he was a high school state track champion and a hurdles champion. So, I mean, kid can fly. He's got some speed, and he's got that. If he can get some space, he can make a big play. I know he had a big one at Minnesota that sealed the win there. Busted like a 66-yard run when we were up 3 with 2 minutes to go and set up a touchdown for himself.
I remember that play. Yeah.
So he's definitely a strength. Offensive line is pretty strong. Most of them have been together for a while, and they've done a good job protecting O'Connell all season. But weaknesses, man, they're I'm like, who's coaching? Who's coaching? And you lose your starting quarterback. You're not. I mean, all credit to Burton and maybe Michael Alimo, a guy who might be the starter next year, has been in the program a couple of years. They're not Aiden O'Connell. And O'Connell threw for 500 plus yards in the bowl game last year on Tennessee and had a fantastic game. If Burton does that, I'm going to be absolutely shocked. I don't know if he has 500 passing yards in his career.
Yeah. I do remember Monday on your show Monday, you guys talked about it. You mentioned about the bowl game last year with Purdue and Tennessee. That was it's a very interesting game, to say the least.
I will say this: I do think Tennessee got hosed. I think he got scored. I think he scored. However, they blew the play dead. Once it's blown dead, you can't do anything.
That was the Music City Bowl, right?
Yes. And
we've gotten hosed by Indiana team and then Music City Bowl before. So
imagine that.
So
certainly not Indiana. I mean, that would make a bowl, let alone win one.
It was Notre Dame. There was a fake punt where the 8th string quarterback was doing the holding on an extra point. Was it a field goal attempt? They ran a fake field goal, Les Miles special. The kid gets in. I mean, clearly we're looking at the review, everybody's saying that he got in, and the referee was like, no, he's short. He's short by half a yard. And the ball was anyway.
Right.
Another thing that came up on your show, Big Ten versus SEC. Which conference is better? Conference? Yeah, what's the better conference? We'll start football side. Dave from Down South Football Podcast says, "Go Boilermakers." Hey, Dave.
Are we talking? We speaking in every sport, or we speaking?
No, I just we
do football.
Football and basketball.
Okay.
Yeah. I say.
It's interesting because football, it seems like there's just two at the top of both of them right now that are just above everybody else in Alabama and Georgia for you guys, and Ohio State.
Hold on.
But you guys beat Alabama.
I was just about to say
Alabama?
that. I was about the SEC West goes to LSU.
I think it's 4. I think it's 4 this year.
In the last 4 years, how many SEC teams have won a national championship?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And only one Big Ten team's won one in the last 20, so that's
exactly. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, but I will say that the
Big Ten in the discussion.
I will say the Big Ten is improving with Michigan improving, Penn State kind of rising up a little bit, even like Maryland and Wisconsin and some of those schools kind of trying to creep closer to the top. So they're not as top heavy as they used to be. Where I feel like the SEC kind of might be more top heavy than they used to be in the past, with Alabama and Georgia further ahead than they kind of used to be. But LSU and some of those schools right there in the middle.
I think Vandy can beat Rutgers.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I don't think there's no question about that.
There was definitely a hierarchy this year because Ohio State and Michigan were above everybody else. Penn State, I think, was at pretty solid number 3. And then the other schools, it was a bag of cats most every week.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, you're going to have possibly the SEC champion versus the Big Ten champion in the national championship game.
Oh, there you go.
And then the other two teams who played in those conference championships are playing in our bowl game. So we can, you got the conference runner-ups in this bowl game. So, I guess we'll have to settle that debate on the field.
That's all we can do.
Yeah. To be fair, Penn State did go down to the Plains and dog walk Auburn.
That's true. That's very true.
I mean, we did better against Penn State,
but Penn State would be the third best Big Ten team.
Yeah,
and Auburn would be the 6th, 7th at best this year.
Yeah,
at best, you know what I mean? Like it might be lower than that.
And we should have beaten Penn State in the opener. We blew that game.
Yeah. No comment on that. That was...
Travis, who's the best coach in the Big Ten, football-wise?
Oh man, see, I'm gonna go a little deeper than usual. I'm gonna give Bilemus a lot of credit at Illinois just because of what he's done. I mean, the 4 of us could recruit talent to Ohio State, and
that's fair. That's fair.
And it helps a lot when you've got 4- and 5-star talent at every position on the field.
That's true.
But
That's true.
You look at what
they still get beat by Michigan. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Michigan's got the same talent, though.
Yeah, they do. But you look at what a guy like Bileum has done this year in turning around Illinois and had them in the race all season. They gave Michigan their toughest game, and they did it in Ann Arbor.
That's true.
I'm not saying he's the best coach, but I'm more impressed by him than like a Ryan Day or something. So
what about
I like
Loxley?
seeing that.
What about Loxley?
Loxley's done a decent job. I'd like to see a little bit more. He's got to get them a little bit more competitive against the big guys in that side of the conference.
I think the defense got to improve. I think he can put up points, but he can't give up 50. You know what I mean? Even though you're going to score 40, you can't give up 50.
Right.
So yeah, and it's and plus there's turnover. There's turnover at all the other spots.
I was trying to think of the wording. Somebody on this show said that Ohio State has more talent top to bottom than Michigan.
It's the truth. I said
it. I mean, it's more top to bottom, but I mean, Michigan has the talent on their team. They got 5, 4, and 5 stars. Starting lineup wise, it's probably neck and neck. If you go third string, you might see it.
Yeah, that was interesting. All right, basketball
Harbaugh is the best coach in the Big Ten. Wow.
I like that.
Interesting.
I like it.
He's won the Big Ten twice. And how long has he been there? He's beaten Ohio State twice. And how long has he been there?
How long has Ryan Day been a coach at Ohio State?
What, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
Okay,
something like that. Yeah.
And he's won.
So he beat. Okay, he couldn't beat Urban.
No, he never beat Urban.
My point.
I mean, Urban Meyer is different.
But if he's the best coach in the Big Ten, why he couldn't beat Urban?
Even before
Urban Meyer is not in the Big Ten right now.
But if you're that good of a coach, you would have won one against him.
Urban Meyer is a legend. A legend. It's not even close.
Jeff Brown beat him.
Beat his ass. I mean, 4 touchdowns. I was there that night.
I'm just saying, if you're that damn good, you could beat him once.
Okay.
Joe Louis beat him. But Purdue basketball, very impressive so far. 13-0. Expectations for the year, basketball wise.
Got to cut down the nets, man.
I learned my lesson last year about putting the cart before the horse there, because that was one of the most frustrating and hard to watch seasons. Lost 4 Big Ten games on buzzer beaters. I think of the 8 losses that we had, 6 were by 3 points or less.
Jeez.
And you win 29 games, but you don't win the Big Ten. You don't win the Big Ten tournament. You lose in the Sweet 16 to a 15 seed. That just hurt. And I couldn't even think about it all off season. And I was down on this team when it started, but man, when they went out to Portland and they beat West Virginia, Gonzaga, and Duke in a 4-day span, right after beating a really good Marquette team at home, they've impressed me. I think they're a better team. They're more cohesive this year, which is incredible to say after losing 3 seniors, 3-year player in Isaiah Thompson, and a top 10 draft pick. Somehow they're better. I don't know, man, but they're better defensively. They haven't shot the ball from 3 very well yet, but they've got guys that are just going to get hot for a game or two. And I'm always on guard with Purdue. I have seen far too many good Purdue teams fall apart in March and have that just gut-wrenching loss. I say Purdue is the best team in the country before March 15th. After March 15th, watch out.
I was going to ask, how do you know how much better do you think they are, losing Ivy? Because for Purdue to have a guy who's a lottery pick is kind of rare, and for y'all to lose him and still be better than you were last year, that says a lot to the culture and the program that y'all built there. So is Zach Edey the best player to come through Purdue?
Nah, I think Ivy's better. He's more versatile. Edey is hard to say because I just don't see how he fits in with the modern NBA game. I haven't seen him make a shot beyond 10 feet from the basket unless it's a free throw. That's a fair point. And so, but he's got excellent footwork. If this was about 1992, he would be the number 1 overall pick, no doubt in my mind.
I mean, he could be Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, he could do that. He's got great footwork.
It hates Rudy.
It doesn't mean. I mean, Rudy Gobert is a starting center in the NBA. He shouldn't get paid $40 million. He shouldn't be a 3-time defensive player of the year.
I told you he hates
it. But that's a totally different subject. He's a starting center in the NBA. I'm just saying he shouldn't be a 3-time defensive player of the year or a max contract level player. But I'm just saying Zach Edey could be a serviceable NBA center. That's all I'm saying.
And that would be fine with it. I think it'll be interesting to see what he does after this year, because I know the scouts are watching him. His draft stock's going up. He's the leading candidate for National Player of the Year right now, and he could still come back next year if he wants to. But
he's been there 16 years, seem like.
Nah, this is only his 3rd year.
Dang.
But and he was like the 350th recruit in his class or something. Jeez. Absurd. Yeah. But he has excelled when you lost a guy in Travion Williams who's playing in the G League right now. It was a 4-year starter and a fantastic big in his own right. Yeah. But that's one of the subtle differences with this team is you've got Caleb First taking a lot of those minutes that Williams had, and First is a lot more versatile than Williams. He's quicker. He can shoot the 3. He can guard outside. When we had Williams, it was pretty much just 1 in, 4 out, no matter what. So he's taken a leap this year, and he's got the guys around him that if there's a night where they're hitting threes, Purdue can't be beat. Honestly, I mean they can't, because it's a matter of, do you have the guy that is physically impossible to guard 1-on-1, or do you get out on the shooters?
To your point though. You win in March with guard play, so
yes,
that's the ultimate. The deciding factor is going to be can those guys make those jumpers outside, and can they kind of carry out through the tournament? Because that's what when as good as big men are, in the college game. Guards win tournaments.
I agree, and that we had that guard last year with Jaden Ivey. We made our big run with Carson Edwards, and
exactly.
Right now
I forgot about him. He was so good.
That night in Louisville, man. Oh man, I was more surprised when he missed in overtime than when he was throwing in like the 35, 40 footers. But
yeah, that kid was good.
But we're starting 2 true freshmen in the backcourt, and they have exceeded all expectations right now. Braden Smith he's been a better point guard than we've had in several years. Fletcher Lawyer is, the typical Indiana kid that just grew up shooting and can just get hot from 3. And, we're going to go as far as they carry us. And so far they've done extremely well. They looked really good out in Portland. And I'm just hoping there's not a freshman wall for them. We'll find out here in Big Ten play. We got 18 games to go.
I'm ready to see Edie versus Hunter Dickinson. That's all I'm ready to see.
Hunter tore us up last year.
That kid could ball.
That was the one game we got blown out. We went up to Ann Arbor, and I think we lost by 25. It was ugly.
That's a big man who can step out, though. He can step out.
All right. So, Travis, before we let you go, I do want to talk a little on LSU side of the field, I guess you could say. Fellas, let me ask you this, because we said we'll kind of bring this up while Travis is here. And this will lead to my next question. What worries you about the game?
I would say for us, the defensive side of the ball. Just us not having the bodies. It being a long season, we have a lot of guys up front that are going to be young playing for the first time, possibly getting reps. So
my cat just decided to jump on the table. She's like, you're supposed to be on the couch right now, and I'm supposed to be in your lap.
Right. But yeah, I would say that. But I mean, honestly, what I'm not worried about is our offense. I'm not worried about our offense at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm based off, the way he just described what their offense is going to look like. Our defensive line depth and lack of experience to a certain extent is really what I'm worried about. And the way LSU is shown we aren't the best tacklers at all times also is kind of worries me. Because I've seen that running back. He a load.
Right.
I think Harold Perkins is going to have to ball out for us.
For sure.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. So that leads me to my next question. This one's more towards you, Travis. At times LSU has struggled on offense to get going. They've started slow. Is this a game against Purdue where LSU can start slow and struggle and win late, or is this if they start slow, it might be a long day?
I honestly think it's one that LSU can be in it regardless. Purdue has had their defensive secondary has been feast or famine all year. I think we set a school record. We had like 4 pick sixes this year. First time we've ever done that one season, but then they'll blow a tackle and give up a 65-yard play. So it's been all over the map there. So they're as likely to make the big play as give one up. But the real question is what can Burton do? I'm very curious to see what he does with a full month to prepare. I think against Florida Atlantic, he only had like 5 days because O'Connell had thrown for like 400 yards the week before when he got hurt. So if he can actually get the offense moving, I think we could put up some points at least. But if he can't, man, it's gonna be a long day on our end just because there's a lot of questions on offense and we're missing 3 of our best 4 players offensively. So that's not good.
Yeah.
All right. We do have a breaking news just came out and looks like LSU is getting some much needed help back. Major Burns, starting safety, just coming back for 2023. That is big news for our secondary that a lot of people were worried about prior to the end of the season. So I guess major news for Major.
Major news.
Pun intended. Yeah.
Put on.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
We do got rim shots. It's
I couldn't do it. I can't play it, bro.
I know.
I would have played it, but
I know. Yeah. Travis, thank you so much for coming on with us. Maybe when
sure.
LSU makes this run in basketball, wink, wink.
Maybe we'll meet.
I
There
think
we
we should bring him back on closer to March Madness either way, just so we could talk about the tournament.
I'm happy to do that. But if you talk to me during a Purdue game in the tournament, I will be an absolute basket case. Because I was at the old website that I ran before I moved over to the Rivals Network. I had the press pass for us the night we lost to Virginia in the Elite Eight, and if they had not tied it, there's a greater than 50% chance I was going to stage dive into the Purdue fans behind me off of the press table. I mean, as it is, if you watch the replay of that Diakate shot, you could see me surrender Cobra. And I got to see what the ceiling of the KFC Yum Center looked like in great detail. But
I love it.
Hey, I respect your passion, brother. I respect the passion.
I'm from Indiana. We love basketball.
Hey, I respect that.
I get it. Shout out to French Lick and Larry Bird over there.
Hey, I will say this, and I know you're probably gonna hate me for this, but the movie Hoosiers is overrated.
I loved it as a kid growing up, but you guys might see a guy from my high school right now in a year or two. Flory Badunga, the number 2 recruit in the nation for the 2020 forecast.
Yeah, that kid can ball.
He is at my old high school, and Auburn is going after him big time.
That kid can ball.
He's good. He is one of the best we have ever had. And as much as I know Purdue basketball, I know Indiana basketball, Indiana high school basketball even more. So
okay, well, let me ask one question before you go. One question:
Sure.
Is Eric Gordon the best Indiana player of this, century?
Oh hell no! Oh hell no! I saw Greg Oden in high school.
Okay.
I saw Oden and Conley were amazing together.
Yeah,
I mean
that was a cheat code.
Rolled the state for 3 years.
What about wasn't the Zeller brothers from Indiana too?
Yeah, all 3 of the Zellers were from there. So they played down in southern Indiana, a small school called Washington. So
I got you. Yes. Yeah, we got to bring him back to talk ball pool.
Definitely.
Eric Gordon couldn't even win a state championship. You know who he lost to? Etwan Moore.
Shout out to Etwan Moore. He was on the Pelicans, baby.
Etwan Moore.
I forgot he went to Purdue. Number 55, baby. Yeah.
Travis, again, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. I hate that I couldn't make it on your show.
That's all right.
When you guys had it on Monday. But thank you so much.
Superstar was there to hold it down.
Anyway.
Yeah, Kory did a great job.
Kory did a great job.
For those that don't know, Kory is the all-time touchdowns leader at Purdue. Came close to breaking some of Mike Allstott's rushing records. Did break his rushing touchdown record and everything. So, and that was when Joe Tiller was there. He was putting up huge rushing numbers. If you ever listen to our show, he's always like, "Man, I'd have done so much better if he'd just give me the damn ball." I'm like, Kory, you ran for 3,000 yards and had 54 touchdowns. I know. Give me the ball.
But thank you again. Give Kory our best.
I will.
And we'll look for him next time.
Awesome.
Ladies
Thanks,
and gentlemen, that was our guy from the BLEAV Network, Mr. Travis Miller of the Behind the Rails podcast. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm catching up. All right. There we go.
All right.
Yeah, I will say that that man was very passionate about Purdue.
Yeah. I have never met a Purdue fan.
Me neither.
I have never met a Purdue fan
ever.
But I do cheer for Purdue a lot.
I was about to say, except for me when they play Ohio State, because I put money on that every time.
Yes. The spoiler makers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we promised y'all we was gonna talk about it. Let's get to it. Kayshon Boutte. Kayshon. Kayshon decided to change his mind, and he is decided to go into the draft. Stop. Initial thoughts.
Kayshon, how could you do this to us? Kayshon, how could you do this to Jaden? Kayshon, go get your money.
My initial thoughts was you should have did this a couple weeks ago. This should have been your first thought. This is the best decision for him, in my opinion.
Ooh.
So
not mine.
Dak just went down again.
Nah, bro.
Grabbing his knee.
Sheesh.
That's messed up, man.
It looked well. He just got back up, but it looked like it didn't look good at first.
Bro, was that the producer?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I can't type anything, so.
Okay, producer.
But
welcome back.
But I will say that I felt like he should have went pro. I mean, I want when he said he was coming back, I was excited and I was glad that he was coming back. Yeah, but at the same time, part of me felt like he should go pro because
I'm gonna tell you why he shouldn't. But go ahead.
I feel like he should go pro because he's gonna be a first round pick.
No, he's not.
Why isn't he?
Because he's not.
Why isn't he?
That's
the reason why he's not.
Don't give me an answer your son would give me. Give me a real answer.
Okay. The reason why he's not, because his production was not great this year. He's coming off an injury. He looked a tad bit slow this year. He also ran lazy routes, right? And there is buzz around him being a character problem, having character issues. There is.
You said that last time we were on the show, but
I did, but it was true.
Where? Because outside of Twitter space,
I'm not
going. That has never been said.
All right, I'll say this: in the past 10 NFL drafts, there's been an average of 4 receivers taken in the first round. So you mean to tell me that there's 4 receivers that there's going to be taken before Kayshon?
Yes.
Who?
Yes. I'll tell you. Quentin Johnson, TCU.
Okay.
Jackson Smith from Ohio State.
No. Based off the same thing you just said about Kayshon, I could say the exact same thing about Jackson Smith and Jigba.
He was hurt.
You just said Kayshon had injury concerns. He has injury concerns. You said there's off the field character issues about him. There's off the field character issues about him also. So
not like Kayshon.
Based on
guys, how many? But how many times have we saw Kayshon in the beginning of the season run half-ass routes? Like, let's be real. He pouted because he wasn't getting the ball. I don't care what you say, bro.
In one game.
Okay. All right.
I'm just saying, in one game, I saw that. Yeah. In one game.
All right. Not only that, he dropped a ton of balls this year. A ton of balls. One of the things that had him ranked so high last year was they said that he was a sure-handed receiver and that he did run crisp routes.
Where did Henry Ruggs go?
That was not true.
Where did Henry Ruggs go?
What do you mean, where did Henry Ruggs go?
Where was he drafted?
He was a first-round pick.
Where was Jalen Reagor drafted?
You're talking about a completely different draft.
But we're still.
I'm talking. And you draft players based off traits, and you draft them based off skill sets. You don't draft them based off their college numbers.
Jordan Addison was getting drafted before him.
That's 2 that I'll give you.
The wide receiver from Tennessee.
3
is getting drafted before him.
3. I'm not giving you Jackson Smith and Jigba.
You lucky Marvin Harrison's not coming out this year.
You lucky. I'm not lucky nothing. That has nothing to do with luck. It has to do with the fact of when somebody can come out. It has nothing to do with
Jalen Hyatt.
That's the Tennessee guy.
If Kayshon runs a 4.4 or a 4.3, he's going first round.
His 40 does not matter, bro.
You want to bet? You want to bet?
Does not matter.
So
do you want to bet?
Why did Henry Ruggs get drafted the first receiver overall in the draft that year then? Why did Darius Hayward-Bay go top 10?
Oh my God!
Why did John Ross go top 15?
Jalen
Reagor. Yes, you're talking about guys who were infatuated with 40 times. The Raiders.
Not all of them. Only 1 or 2 of them went to the Raiders. John Ross didn't go to the Raiders.
And what did he do? What did
John Ross? It doesn't matter what he did.
What did he do in the NFL?
He
didn't do anything.
Was he a first round pick? You're moving the goalpost. Was he a first round pick or not?
He was a first round.
Okay, that's what this discussion is about.
But Kayshon is not a blazer. He's not known for his speed.
What are you talking about? He was a track star coming out of high school.
Oh my
he
God.
ran a 6.39 60-yard dash. He ran a 21 second 200 meters.
That's great. That's great.
That's
Kayshon
really fast.
is known for route running and being a possession receiver.
You are tripping, son.
That's not true.
All right. How many times this season did he show us his 40 times?
We talking about
the
this.
Georgia game. The Georgia
One game.
The Georgia
One
game.
game.
You always say, "What have you done for me lately?" Well, the last time you saw him, he burnt the whole Georgia.
He won't be a first round pick.
All right, we're gonna see. You said the same thing about Stingley, didn't you?
No, I didn't. Yeah. I did not say that. I did not say he wasn't a first. Are you kidding me?
I give Daniel didn't say he wasn't. I give him that. He was.
Well, that must was Chris then. That must.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Because I was arguing with one of y'all on this show about Stingley.
It wasn't me.
Okay, well that's my bad then, Dan.
You might have argued with me. I don't know.
It might have been you, but yeah,
might have been me. But yeah, Daniel did. I give him credit for that. I think he is too.
But anyways, you gotta feel some type. This is my first time ever seeing somebody say they're gonna stay and then turn around and say they're gonna leave. I've never seen that before. I'm not saying it's not, but it's my first time seeing it.
They may not have come out publicly, but if I'm not mistaken, Jeremy Hill, there was rumors he was going to come back and stay, and Les Miles talked him into going. Basically, say there's no need. Devin White was a person who,
but he never came out publicly and said
it. Never came out publicly. I don't know, but
why does it matter if he changed his mind? He changed his mind. Like, why does it? Like that's a life-changing decision. Like,
yeah. So initial reaction.
So what was the point of you bringing that up then? If it's not a problem, like,
bro,
I'm just saying. You saying you've never seen nobody do it.
Okay, because we know Kayshon. Some people are saying Kayshon had team issues. Right, we don't know what it was. We don't know.
Why do you keep saying that? Because it's a violation of team rules.
Oh, yes. You're talking about violation of team rules.
That's not team issues. That's breaking a rule.
Okay, he broke a rule. If he would have never broke that rule, Kayshon would be playing for LSU next year.
You don't know that.
Okay.
But you don't know that. Like that's
so. Let me say this.
Speculation. That's like I get what you're saying, and all right, you got it, bro.
All right. So here we go. Because let me say this. My initial reaction. Initially, I was like, why did he say he was staying? I was in shock. And then I immediately knew what was going to happen. It was going to turn to he's leaving because Jaden decided to stay.
Yep.
I knew that was going to be the immediately is going to be a reaction. I want to put some things into context. It has been, sources have said that Kayshon basically knew of his suspension after the championship game. He yet still made the decision to say he was going to stay. So he knew there was suspension in. I don't know if y'all realize the timing, but when Kayshon announced that he was going to leave, everybody was in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
So he waited till the team was gone before he made his announcement.
Right. Also, some people said that Kayshon never even came back to the team.
Yeah, that's another thing. So he hadn't been at practice, hadn't been back to the team or anything like that since he made the announcement. So,
yeah. So let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
How does that look, perception-wise, to your teammates? To
Dylan wants you to say, it says, check out our merchandise.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Check out our merch.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, D. But how does that look, though, for your teammates? And then not only that, okay, for instance, if you're Besh, right? If you're Besh, how do you feel if you're Jake Besh?
His name is not Jake.
Can you stop calling that dude?
The damn man was named Jack.
I'm gonna call him Jake. All right.
That's so disrespectful.
Okay, Dave.
I'm call
okay,
him
Dave. Jeez,
right.
Man.
But like, honestly, how would you feel if you was him?
I wouldn't feel any kind of way because he's still okay.
So if he comes back and you still got Aaron Anderson in front of you, like what's the difference?
Listen.
You're gonna have to compete either way it goes, bro.
You're gonna have to compete. No matter what.
So I mean, like, if
I don't. No, I was gonna say as far as Bish, because a lot of people, because he did make the tweet with the laughing emojis and stuff, and then later deleted it. If you're Jack Bish, how do you feel? Maybe I should have, take a little bit more time to make a decision, but at the same time, do I stick around and fall behind somebody else, or do I move on? Because I mean, let's be honest. He was given opportunities. He got hurt. They still trying to find places to get him on the field. And he hurt us. I'm not blaming him or anything, but he did hurt us in special teams.
Put us in a big hole in the Tennessee game.
Yeah. And then it was like after that, it was kind of he didn't really see, and then he had the drop pass, bounce ball off the helmet, interception in the championship game. So it's like, it's at some point you kind of mentally it's like maybe I do need to move on. So
well, and I never heard that, Chris, but I mean, if that's true, then that's crazy. But I mean, my thing is too, even watching our guy AYS show and him and Power talk yesterday about LSU. Actually, if he would have said that he was coming out earlier, they had some guys that they possibly wanted to go get in the portal. So I mean, at the same time, like, I don't know. It's just wild. It was unexpected. Honestly, we were all excited about LSU returning a lot of their guys. I mean, returning Kayshon. I mean, Kayshon is a weapon. Don't get me wrong. He's a very talented kid. But I'm going to say this. I think we're still going to be okay on offense.
Yeah, me too. That's why I'm trying to figure out why, like, I understand what Carter and Blake saying as far as those other guys we could go get, but it ain't like our receiver room is lacking. You know what I mean? Like, we good.
But
like, what? Who are you gonna bring in? I mean, I know the names they mentioned, but I'm just, were those guys gonna come here whenever they look at our wide receiver room?
Yeah.
Like, I understand we could throw names out of, we could have got this person or we could have got that person, but it's two sides to that. They gotta want to come here too. And when a lot of people look at our wide receiver room, they not gonna want to be like, oh yeah, I can go play there. They're gonna look at it like, man, that's a lot of
Aaron Anderson and then back there.
Yeah, Aaron Anderson came home too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He also it's a big spot for Aaron Anderson to contribute immediately on special teams.
Exactly. So he gonna find his way on the field one way or another. Not everybody got that option.
Yeah. Well,
it's this off subject. I guess 21 Savage is going to be the musical performance after the game tonight. Quick question: do y'all look at 21 Savage differently now that you know he's actually British?
Yeah, I respect him more.
I mean, I respect, but I look at him and like I expect him to come out and say, not after the game, I will be performing anyway. All right,
I respect him more, bro.
I kind of do too. Because I do too.
All right, so we mentioned this. The fans, should they blame Jaden Daniels and stuff, and why was the blame? Why was the? Well, I'm gonna say why because that's speculation.
We know why.
We want to go there.
Let's go there. Why not? Let's go. We got to take this pod to the next level. Let's go.
Then
let's all right, you want to take it to the next level?
See? That's
all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is James.
See, and without me, it would just be y'all agreeing on everything. Who wants to watch that?
We don't agree on everything because apparently he said Stingley wasn't going in the first round.
Yeah, that's why. I still can't believe you said that.
Yeah, that ain't the only thing. And he a Laker fan. Like, come on, bro. We wouldn't agree. Laker fan.
Whatever. What would y'all be without me? But anyways, let's go.
Further ahead. That's what we were saying. Further ahead.
All right. With Kayshon leaving, that does open up another spot technically. That you can bring in somebody else, transfer high school. Should they go after another wide receiver or just focus on building
trenches?
Yep.
Because Cameron Jackson announced today
he's visiting Florida.
Yeah, visiting Florida. He's going to the transfer portal though, so He was a long time LSU commit.
And this kid loved LSU, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah. Under Les Miles.
That was Orgeron.
He was
Orgeron. I'm sorry. That's what I meant.
Got processed out, right?
Yep.
From Haynesville, Joe Evans' cousin.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think Jaden should get any of this blame. And if you are blaming Jaden for Kayshon leaving, that's ridiculous, man.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. If you blaming Jaden, I'm gonna just think you're blaming him because he's black. I'm just saying there's no correlation whatsoever.
That's true.
Because and he can't throw, but if you look at his numbers stats don't mean.
And I get the whole Nussmire, they want a Nussmire thing, and that could be true. But at the same time, Jaden wouldn't have been the first one to respond to. I mean, Kayshon wouldn't have been the first one to respond to Jaden saying he coming back, and they wouldn't do all that celebrating if there was if he didn't have a relationship and a friendship with Jaden also. So
it's a lot of wide receivers committing to LSU too. If Jaden's such a big problem, I
feel like the fans are pushing their feelings onto the players and saying the players feel like this because that's how I feel. Right. You know what I mean? And that's
called a narrative
and
an agenda.
You know? I hit him with that shirt, Pooh.
Loud and wrong. Facts over opinions. Shirt coming soon. We just gotta narrow it down. I that's something else I thought about, man. The Golden Boot mouth shirt 5 + 7 = 12.
Whenever they give Malik Neighbors number 7, we can still work it out.
Nah, hey, matter of fact, hold on. Should they retire to number 7?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Why?
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
Because it was never a real thing anyway. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't something.
So let whoever want to get it.
Nah, bro. Put that jersey up. Burn that motherfucker. Don't even let nobody wear that motherfucker.
Yeah, you say earn it, but some of the guys who earn it, they don't need to wear it.
That's true. I just feel like at this point you just need to.
Do we say that about 18?
Nope, because 18 isn't just given to somebody; it's voted on.
It's voted on. Yeah.
You have to go earn that, bro. Right. Like it ain't just
in 7 now given to or voted
given to whoever wanted it.
No, it's kind of like the best player on your team kind of.
It's supposed to be the playmaker.
Yeah. I mean, they gotta award it, but they award it to the person that they feel like
18 ain't always lived it up though, Chris.
Who hadn't? Who the last one who hadn't?
I don't know, guy. I think 18 is
Chris Kerr.
I think 18 has more to do with leadership.
Chris Kerr was a leader that year, bro.
Yeah, it's 18 is more of a leadership number, as in 17 is based on performance and production.
No, not 17, just 7.
I mean 7 is based on performance and production.
It's
18 is not that. Yeah,
it's supposed to be.
Right. Nah, man, let Perk have 40, bro. Let Perk keep 40. Don't put
30. I think Perk want 10.
Whatever he won't, let him have it except for 7. Take 7 down for a couple of years.
Let him be 30.
Why? Oh, Desmond Little.
No. It ain't got nothing to do with Desmond Little.
What?
Loud and wrong.
30?
Loud and wrong.
You don't get it. We'll explain to you after the show. We'll have to draw you a diagram.
Shut up.
You know how long it take you.
Because you don't know maths.
Whatever.
Hey, if y'all would go check out the HBCU hour last night while we had a 30-minute discussion about a coaching tree. That was funny.
Oh my gosh.
That was funny.
Are you serious?
That was not funny. That got me in trouble, dog.
That didn't make sense.
My wife
it does make sense. You the only person that understand.
My wife texted me and said, "You gotta stop yelling, bro."
You the only person don't understand what a tree means.
I do know what a tree means.
Family tree.
Your logic behind it didn't.
All right, let's keep moving, bro.
Let's
keep moving.
Your ass just slow. I see it. You just slow.
Whatever.
You just slow. All
right,
fellas. What else
slow,
we got?
But you walk fast, apparently.
Because he lean.
Shut up.
It's because he got a head start.
And you need a haircut.
I do.
Hey,
you're actually right. I do.
Do the I'm never mind. I ain't gonna do it because
my boy been gone for 3 weeks. He need to bring
I can
his
tell.
back home. It's all good. Still looks better than you. Shit.
You look homeless.
I don't.
No comment.
Say it. So I can go off on you, Bear White.
Get one of these, Daniel.
He mad because he can't get one.
I ain't worried about y'all.
Hey,
That's why you got implants.
Can't even tell when you do got a cut, Daniel.
You gotta
do this for us to look at your cut. Where your hairline at? Do this so I can see it.
See, that's a
it's
shame,
blocked.
It's all that hate, boy. That's, oh my god, that's a shame.
It's blocked.
The boy said it's blocked.
It is.
He got to finish unlocking it.
See, there go Nick. See, man, come on, bro. Let's get this done with, bro. Let's get this over with.
You ain't got no VC to unlock it.
Chris, help me out in the comments, Chris.
You calling the wrong one. Chris, you know how Chris tell Joe, you look like you get up and work a 40-hour work week.
Hey, that just means you look dusty. That's all he's saying.
Chris tell him Joe. Chris will come in there.
Look like you got a 401k.
All right, never mind, Chris.
Look at you doing well for yourself.
Wait. Hey, Chris said, Nick, a maintenance man at a nursing home.
I told you.
You know what I'm saying? Look at you having a good job, 40-hour week with benefits. Look at you.
Look at you retiring early.
The worst jokes. Chris gonna come back with a joke. I bet you don't even know how to drive manual shift. What?
Oh man, look at you looking like you drive an automatic. You can't even drive a log truck.
It's terrible.
I bet you don't even know the difference between 10W40 and 0W40. You don't know your oil weight.
I don't know that one, dog.
For real?
No.
It's got to do with the viscosity of the oil.
The what?
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Next time y'all see us, it'll be
Nick wrong for that.
That's cold-blooded.
Hey,
Nick said this is a backup blunt for Goodyear.
I wasn't even finna say it, man.
For the people who listening, that's cold-blooded.
Y'all so. All right. Hey, listen, fellas, it's a good
we should continue this in spaces. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
We have to do one. Why? So you can start mess and leave?
Every night.
Daniel come. Hey y'all, who y'all think should be the starting quarterback? I think Jaden can't throw.
And then this is the thing,
bro. Don't say that. I do not say that, bro. Don't.
You
say
do.
This what he do. This
bro.
What
Don't
do.
say that, bro.
Hey,
I never. Said
who y'all think should be the starting quarterback? Because if a Jaden is starting, then Nuts probably gonna leave, and then he'll just leave the space. Don't say bye. Don't say nothing. Just leave the space.
I just listen.
No, you don't listen, boy. You don't even be in the space no more.
I never said that about Jaden.
Messy, Maya.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hey, it is back to before we go. This is our last show for 2022.
For sure.
Oh, that is true. Peyton is grounded because he got in trouble last night. It was so funny that you missed it.
Hey, we live, bro. Don't talk about that, man.
Okay, we'll talk about it after the show. Ooh, that was
His wife got him though.
Hey,
we'll talk about it after the show.
Man.
Oh man.
All right. Man. So, all right. Last one of 2022. 2022 rolling around. What's your New Year's resolution?
Lose 40 pounds.
Oh, cut your head off.
See? That's a shame, bro.
He still have 10 more to go. Go ahead.
Hating is a sport.
Right.
Hating is a sport.
And I'm an all-star. But anyway,
you are. You're a superstar.
But anyway, man, I'm supposed to start getting more active.
Okay.
Quotation marks.
Yeah. Hey, because you said you want to challenge me.
Challenge you in what?
In basketball. I don't think you're ready.
Man, stop it, bro. Please don't.
I'm just saying. I don't think you're ready.
Please
I know Pooh ain't ready.
For yourself, bro.
Twice I ain't ready.
I just know you ain't ready.
Shit, don't listen.
Pooh?
A horse that run fast don't run long. They ain't what they say. They say something else, but I'm just saying.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
I mean, he ain't got a lot of wind.
Woo.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm surprised we can get stuff over that head, Paul.
Shut
up. New Year's
Chris,
resolution. I do want to.
You don't even know how to spell my name.
You can't say nothing because you can't say Jack or spell Jack.
Whatever.
Hey, but Chris. Hey, but to be fair, Chris, you can't say nothing about how nobody built
for real
to play no sports.
Hey, I think Chris probably could play a little basketball.
Man,
a little.
Chris
Wait, I heard he was
tennis balls.
I heard he was dunking everything: donuts, cookies, brownies.
We way out
tampons.
Whoa!
What?
Whoa!
What did he say?
Hey, Chris eat tampons. He dipped tampons.
What?
All right. We out.
In chocolate.
Kill this show.
Bro, what?
Kill this show.
Dang, you just too far.
Kill this show, man.
Nah, don't start with me.
Kill this show, man.
Don't. I'll take it.
All right, fellas. Well,
hey, what's your New Year's resolution, Pooh?
To stop talking to you, you know.
That's a damn shame.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna try to lose a little weight, get active and stuff.
So it sounds like all of us, we need to lose some weight.
Not damn sure ain't doing that. I'm
lose a little weight.
Lock the doors. I'm locking all doors for now on. For every broadcast.
You got little man locked up.
Yeah, he can't. He tried to be nice. He came in. He was like, "You got anything in your cup?" I said, "Nice. You want some?" It's nice. I just made some juice. I said, "All right." He said, "I'll bring you some." Okay. Number water. All right.
Try to help you out.
Hey, what up, Dylan, man? Dylan, don't let him talk about you. Trying to help you out. He said you got diabetes.
No, he's just slow. He's just slow. He's not spelling my name wrong. He just
stop. All right. Oh well. All right, fellas. Well, hey, listen, it's been a fun 2022 for the pod. 2023, a lot more in store. Hey, automatic promo. I do want to say this. Automatic promo on the merch site. If you spend over $20.23, you will get 23% off on the goldenboot.com. So anything you buy, if it's over $20.23, you will get 23% off. That starts New Year's Day.
What happened? Just call a flag on that play. Texas versus Washington.
I ain't watched that with. All right, let's get. We've been trying to get out of here for I don't know how long.
25 minutes.
All right. Like that, we out.
Peace.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.